Hey guys, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Just doing a walk around the garden real quick, kind of showing you. Peppers are doing freaking awesome, as you can see there. And everything looks good. I had a request for a video, so I wanted to do that video for you guys today. Lady asked, wouldn't your stuff be safe if there was an EMP because you're not tied to the grid, okay? So I want to talk about an EMP and then kind of talk a little bit about a scenario if the power went out. Okay, so let's say there was an EMP, all right? So first of all, everything electronic would be fried, everything. That's kind of a scary situation if you think about it. Here is an example. There's electronic components in the back of this solar panel, okay? Every one of these solar panels has an electronic component in the back. It would be completely fried. They would be useless. The inverter, the charge controller would be useless. I would be just like everybody else. I would be without power, okay? If an EMP hits, everything is just done, except for cars that don't have the electronic starters and all that type of stuff. So I think it's pre-1970, if I'm not mistaken. Those cars would still work. All the rest of the cars would be useless, not working at all. Everything would be fried. You couldn't go and get gas because there's no electronics for the pumps to work. Now you could open up the things and siphon the gas out that way, but how fast would that gas be gone, okay? And I'm talking the manholes that they have at the gas station where you open them up and, where they pump the gas into the tanks. Those would be empty pretty quick, okay? You couldn't go to the bank to get more money out of the ATM machine because there would be no power, so it wouldn't be working, okay? So that would be completely done. Whatever money you had is what you had. I always try to use the scenario of power as an example to explain to people how bad things could be and how quickly they could turn. Now you can use an EMP, it's the same kind of situation, or if you just had the power grid go down. Now if the power grid went down, I would not be affected because I have my own system and I'm not grid tied. I'm completely independent. So in that situation, if the grid went down, if they say the grid was attacked, I would be okay. I would still have power. Now, the scenario I like to try to use to people is if the power went out and was not going to come back on. Now, you can use that as an example of an EMP or just regularly, okay? Now, let's say it was just regularly. You could still drive and stuff like that, but basically and realistically, what you have is what you have. So when FEMA and the Red Cross say to you, you should have a 2-week supply of food and water. You really should have a 2-week supply of food and water. It's a really, really smart thing to do. It's going to give you that edge over most people. Now, if you can put up more than that, that's a great thing. Because your water that you turn on your tap, it's always on, it's always worked. If the power went down, the pumps, I think, they have a backup system that'll work for a while, but it wouldn't be very long. So you do want to try to get as much water as you could because fresh water is going to be key to having things squared away, okay? Without fresh water, you can be dead in 3 days. If you drink tainted water, you are looking at a miserable slow death of diarrhea and stuff like that. So it's just not really a lot of fun if you look at it like that. Having fresh water is definitely key. Having enough food, I mean, you can go without food for 6 weeks. Or no, 3 weeks, I'm sorry, 3 weeks. I'm saying that wrong. So it's 3 weeks. It's 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, okay? Oh, and 3 hours of exposure in bad weather. So now, again, another thing to think about. Let's say something happened in January. Well, in the Northeast, not everybody heats with wood. A lot of people do. A lot of people have a wood stove or a fireplace. Most people do not, especially in the cities, okay? You're looking at a catastrophic loss of life just from exposure. I mean, it would be absolutely horrible. People would die in their homes. Without that heat, I mean, anybody that's lived in the Northeast knows the power has gone out from time to time, and it gets cold in the house real quick, okay? So, I mean, that's something to think about as well. Okay, so EMP, you could use the same thing. No power, no way to heat your home, no way for the water to get to you for that fresh water. So you're basically going to have what you have, okay? And if it's in the middle of winter, it's not like you're going to run out and jump in your car and fire your car up and stay warm in your car, because if it's in EMP, your car's not working anyway. Pre-1970, I believe, is they have the old, they don't have any electronic starting things for your car, and they would still work. So anything older than, I believe it's 1970, would still work, okay? But other than that, forget about it. Those cars aren't going to work in an EMP event. Now, if I was an enemy of this country, I would, if it was me, I would attack the power grid, and I would do it in January, because it's like you're going to have the most loss of life at that time. That scares the crap out of me thinking about that. And it's like, it's one of the reasons why I've done everything that I've done, because it's like we heat with wood. So if the power goes down, we don't have to worry about it. If it's not an EMP, like I said, then I'm good to go. I'm still going to have power. Okay. So I had somebody say to me, I'm going to give you another example of something. Somebody say to me, well, you're still, connected to the grid. You have that propane tank. Okay. Well, now let's talk about that propane tank. I had that propane tank brought in this spring, and it's a 330 gallon propane tank. Okay, it's right over here. And I had that brought in here, and I have used none of it. I have used no propane at all out of that propane tank. I bought it strictly as a backup measure if things go belly up. I have 330 gallons of propane. To me, it was a smart move. It's an investment like anything else, okay? Let's see, it was Soxy stalking something over here. So anyway, that's why I have that. Now I'm going to use the suggestion that somebody said. Oh, look at there she goes. I'm going to use the suggestion that somebody had said in getting the adapter so that I can fill 1 pound canisters, and also be able to fill like a 20-pound canister. I think that's an awesome idea, and I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to be buying that adapter. Because that just makes a lot of sense, because I have 20-gallon tanks, I have 30-gallon tanks, and I have a lot of little 1 pound cylinders as well. So it would definitely be something that I'm going to make an investment into. So anyway, here's the thing, guys. It's all about sharing of information, okay? And it's like, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, okay? So I'm trying to do the best I can, okay? And I've tried to wake you guys up and explain stuff to you. And like I said, I always like to use that, if the lights went off tomorrow and we're not going to come back on, how ready are you, okay? Having enough food and water to get you by any kind of crazy time, if you had to hunker down in your home and try to lay low for a while things, went crazy, that's a good way of doing it. Having enough food and water so that you can lie low. But and again, if you're going to have looters coming house to house looking for food and water and whatnot, what are you going to do then? So you really have to. My philosophy is always this: I prepare for the worst and I hope for the best. Okay. I believe in taking care of my family and not putting myself in a situation where I'm going to have to rely on anybody else, if other than people in a group that I know that are going to have my back and I'm going to have their back. Okay. But anyway, so if an EMP hits, we're all in deep, deep doo-doo. If you don't have something in a Faraday cage protected, like a backup inverter or backup charge controller, I don't even know, you'd have to have a huge Faraday cage to try to protect solar panels. And you'd have to have backup solar panels that you weren't even using. So, it's a scary scenario. It really, truly is. But it is what it is. And, you have to think about these things. But if an EMP hits, it's going to affect us all. If the power just goes out, anybody that has a solar system that's not grid tied, they're going to still be in pretty decent shape. You got to have the batteries, and basically you would have as long as your batteries lasted. As long as you took care of your batteries, you're going to be able to have power. It's kind of frightening when you really think about it. So, but anyway, so that's what I wanted to do this because it was a requested video, and it's just hopefully it gives you guys something to think about. Something happens here, especially in the wintertime. it could get real ugly real fast, you know. And you know, you can. I always look at. I try to tell people, look what happened in New Orleans, you know, with Hurricane Katrina. I mean, that's just a very small scale, real small scale. Think about that nationwide. The government would be overwhelmed. They couldn't help everybody. They just couldn't. So the best thing to do is to help yourself. I mean, you know, why would you not be proactive to help yourself? That's what I don't understand. That's the mindset that I don't get. Oh, somebody else will take care of it. No, take care of it yourself. Be smart, okay? Um, you know, so that's, I just wanted to, you know, share this video with you guys. Tell me what your thoughts are, what you're thinking. You know, I try to, like I said, I try to think about different scenarios. I had bought, actually I got a galvanized garbage can that I had purchased that I wanted to set up for as a Faraday cage, and I still haven't done it yet. So that I do need to do. But I will. And it's real warm today, a little overcast, but it's a nice day. It's going to be about 88 today, they said. So it's not, you know, it's warm, but it's not horrible like it is in the south. You know, but so that's what's going on. Just wanted to share that with you. Like I said, it was a requested video, and she had the misconception what the lady did, that if an EMP hit that I would be okay. None of us are going to be okay if an EMP hits. So let's hope that's not the scenario. A lot of different things can happen, but like I said, if you're prepared for the worst and you hope for the best, at least you got a fighting chance. If you have a 2-week supply of food and water, and that's fresh water, 1 gallon of water per person per day, it gives you a fighting chance. It gives you an edge on most people. Now here's a lovely statistic. It says 95% of people, 95% are not ready for a 2-week disaster. Think about that for a second. 95% of people don't have enough food and water for 2 weeks. That's scary. That's scary. If I, you know, well, I have children, so that was like a big motivator for me. So all you guys out there with kids, don't think about yourself, think about your kids. I mean, your kid's coming to you and they're starving. What are you going to do? You're going to do whatever you have to do to get that kid food, okay? So if you think a little bit ahead and prepare, you're going to be in better shape, okay? So that's the video. I hope you guys like it. Please comment, please like and share, whatever you need to do. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Love all the support from you guys. It means a lot. It really does. Remember, guys, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, one day at a time. You're going to reach your goals, and you're going to be a happier person. I'm going to tell you what, just peace of mind is huge. It's huge. You know, I don't worry about a lot of stuff that a lot of other people worry about, you know, because, you know, I'm a lot more prepared than most people are. Now, I'm not anywhere near as prepared as I would like to be, but I'm working on it. All right? Okay, guys, have a great day. Oh, today is Thursday, the 28th of July, and July's almost done. So, anyway, again, exciting news with the water. One thing I want to say real quick, there's been a guy bitching to me about how, oh, you got a motorcycle, but you don't have running water for your kids. Well, I guess he's going to have something, find something new to complain about, because we're going to have running water. So, whoever, I'm not even going to acknowledge who he is because it's not worth it. But anyway, I hope he finds something else to complain about, because we're going to have running water here very soon. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse one out for now.